Thank you very much. So, dear friends, yesterday, let me acquaint myself to you in brief. I am Dr. Atul Suryawanshi, MM College, Batsura, District Jalgaon. Once again, interacting with you here on topic of language. So, dear friends, yesterday. Let's begin. Yeah, I'm sharing my PPT. Yes, so let's begin. Yesterday we studied the methods of linguistic analysis. Means in fact we studied 5 different levels and methods of how to understand and study the language in real sense. I revise in 2 minutes and then we will turn gradually towards this present slide. Yesterday we studied phonology, which is the systematic and scientific study of the sound pattern in English. After that, the second step to understand the language was morphology that we studied. It is a word formation technique in English. The third was syntax, which is associated with English grammar. The fourth was lexical, in which we have to enrich our vocabulary so that we can understand the language in a better way. After that, the fifth and the final level to understand the language was semantics. Semantics is the study of the language from its meaning point of view. So we studied these things yesterday. In today's lecture, we are going to study organs of speech, the difference between phonetic and phonemic transcription. After that, we are going to study few things associated with language. So without wasting the time, let's begin. Here you are visualizing the PowerPoint presentation now. This is organs of speech that I have trying to show you. See here, this is teeth ridge, this point that I am showing you. Here is hard palate, this is soft palate. Soft palates get lowered and it is in the upward position. There are 2 positions of the soft palate. Just the last point of soft palate is known as ulva. Here is a pharynx. Just below the pharynx, here is epiglottis. Epiglottis closes the windpipe. Here is the windpipe. This is tongue. The tongue is also segregated, divided into further segments. This is the beginning teeth of the tongue. This is blade of the tongue, front of the tongue, back of the tongue, and here root of the tongue. So these are 5 parts of the tongue that we are going to study. This is tongue in all. Here are teeth, here are lips. This is teeth ridge, as I told you. This is very much significant in the speaking. कधीही बोलण्यासाठी सगळ्यात महत्त्वाचं आपण ऑर्गन्स ऑफ स्पीच जे आहे त्याचं फंक्शन जे आहे ते समजून घेणं खूप जास्त गरजेचं आणि महत्त्वाचं आहे. या ठिकाणी तुम्हाला खाली लॅरिंग्सच्या जवळ या ठिकाणी दिसते व्होकल कॉर्ड्स. व्होकल कॉर्डची पोझिशन तुम्हाला दिसते. व्होकल कॉर्डच्या काल 2 पोझिशन्स मी तुम्हाला शिकवलेल्या होत्या. व्होकल कॉर्डची एक पोझिशन आहे व्हॉइसलेस, ज्याच्यामध्ये ग्लोटिस जे आहे ते थोडं लांब अंतरावर असतं. लेस व्हायब्रेशन होतं साऊंडचं, आवाज कमी येतो आणि म्हणून त्याला व्हॉइसलेस कॉन्सोनंट असं म्हटलं जातं. ज्या वेळेला ग्लोटिस जवळ असतात त्यावेळेला व्हायब्रेशन जास्त होतं साऊंडची इंटेन्सिटी जास्त असते, त्या साऊंड्सना व्हॉइस्ड साऊंड्स असं म्हटलं जातं. हे काल आपण स्टडी केलं बेटा, व्यवस्थितपणे लक्षात घ्या. मी व्हॉइसलेस साऊंड्स पण सांगतो तुम्हाला. प ट क च फ थ स श ह हे व्हॉइसलेस साऊंड्स आपण काल स्टडी केले. आणि ब ड ग ज व्ह द झ म न ङ य र ल व हे व्हॉइस्ड साऊंड जे आहे यांचा पण आपण थोडक्यात काल अभ्यास केला. एक सगळ्यात महत्वाचं लक्षात घ्या, एपिग्लोटिस जे आहे या ठिकाणी दोन वेगवेगळ्या पद्धतीने फंक्शन करतं. हे अपर पोझिशन मध्ये एपिग्लोटिस मी तुम्हाला दाखवण्याचा प्रयत्न या ठिकाणी केलेला आहे. एपिग्लोटिस जेव्हा डाऊन जातं त्यावेळेला विंड पाईपला ते इथे बंद करून देतात. हेच एक सायंटिफिक रिझन आहे की बऱ्याच वेळेला आपल्याला एल्डर्स सल्ला देतात की ज्या वेळेला आपण जेवण करत असतो ना, म्हणजे आपला फूड पाईप सुरू असतो या ठिकाणाहून, हा फूड पाईप या ठिकाणी डिनोट करण्याचा मी एफर्ट करतोय, ॲरो तुम्हाला खाली दिसतोय. या फूड पाईप मधनं फूड जे असतं ते जात असतं, त्यावेळेला चुकून एखादा अन्नाचा कण, ज्या वेळेला आपण बोलतो ना विंड पाईप पण उघडा असतो, अन्नाचा कण जो आहे तो विंड पाईप मध्ये चालला जातो, ट्रकियेमध्ये एंट्री करतो आणि मग आपल्याला खोकला येतो, वी कॉफ. दिस इज द सायंटिफिक रिझन दॅट वी शुड नॉट स्पीक while taking our food. Okay, I hope that this is very clear to you. या ठिकाणी वरती पण तुम्हाला उल्वा दिसतोय बेटा, पहा तुम्ही, सॉफ्ट पॅलेट. उल्वा जी आहे ती अपर पोझिशनला जाते आणि डाऊन पोझिशनला येते. इथून पण एअरचा फ्लो जो असतो तो मिळत असतो. हे फंक्शन जे आहे ऑर्गन्स ऑफ स्पीचचं समजून घेणं खूप जास्त गरजेचं आहे, जेणेकरून आपल्याला वर्ड्स आर्टिक्युलेट कसे आणि कुठून नेमके होतात हे व्यवस्थितपणे कळू शकेल. हे जे व्होकल कॉर्ड मी या ठिकाणी तुम्हाला दाखवलेलं आहे, याच्या दोन पोझिशन्स मी आताच तुम्हाला सांगितल्या. एक आहे व्हॉइस पोझिशन, एक आहे व्हॉइसलेस पोझिशन. व्हॉइसलेस आणि व्हॉइस साऊंड पण मी तुम्हाला सांगितले. व्हॉइसलेस जे आहे याच्यामध्ये लेस इंटेन्सिटी असते, व्हायब्रेशन कमी असतं. व्हॉइस साऊंड मध्ये व्हायब्रेशन इंटेन्सिटी आवाजाची खूप जास्त असते. ही एक गोष्ट महत्वाची आपण लक्षात घेतली पाहिजे. आता हे सगळं करत असताना व्होकल कॉर्ड जे आहे जितकं स्ट्रेस म्हणजे ताणलेलं असतं तितका आवाज एकदम छान येतो. आणि व्होकल कॉर्ड जेवढे ढिले असतील, लूज असतील ना, लूजली कनेक्टेड असतील, तर आवाज जो असतो थोडासा रफ आणि बेढप होत जातो. हे So, dear friends, let's begin our presentation once again. I hope that this presentation can be visible to you. So, dear friends, yeah, let's begin our presentation. Yes, friends. So here, so let's begin this presentation. Let's continue. There are two types. Yeah, let's begin our presentation. There are two types of the transcriptions. The first is word transcription. The other is sentence transcription. So, word transcription, let us see the sentence. Sentence is the transcription here. We call oratory, this is oratory. So we transcribe the word. And the second thing, we transcribe the sentence. So here are two types of transcriptions. We transcribe the word, we transcribe the sentence. So here are two types. We should note this point. See the example of sentence transcription that I am trying to show you. What country are you from? I am from Japan. So here I am trying to show you the transcription, sentence transcription. Let us turn towards the next slide, phonemic and phonetic transcription. So here, phonemic transcription and phonetic transcription, there are certain differences in it. Let us try to understand this difference. So in phonemic transcription, slashes are used in phonemic transcription. In phonetic transcription, square bracket is used. It is square bracket is used in phonetic transcription. So, in phonemic transcription is known as a broad transcription. Phonetic transcription is the narrow transcription. Phonemic transcription denotes function of the sound, and phonetic transcription shows characteristics of the sound. I have trying to show you the examples of it. See, stream, tanned, clean. So here in between slant lines, this is phonemic transcription, and here in square bracket, this is phonetic transcription. So we should try to know this. The next is about stress and intonation. So what is stress? Stress is nothing but the prominence given on certain syllable. So this is known as stress. Just a minute. Oh. So let's continue this presentation. Stress is nothing but the prominence given on the certain syllable. This is stress. There are two types of the stress: primary stress and secondary stress. See the word academic. Here, primary stress is given on tamic, as it is shown. And secondary stress means less prominence is given to aka on this. So we should try to understand this. There are two types of stress, as I told you: primary stress and secondary stress. The words are denoted here: academic, apologetic, economic, explanation, deliberation, environmental, generosity, and the last word that I'm trying to show you is a phenomenology. Let us turn towards the next slide. Intonation. So what is intonation? Intonation simply means melody of speech. This is known as intonation. So intonation is further segregated into three major types. So what is intonation? Yeah, we should try to know this. Falling tone. Falling tone म्हणजे खाली घसरत जाणारा tone. It is shown in the first, in plain statement, in simple statement. I shall be back in a minute. So this is a simple statement. The second, it is used, falling tone is used in commands, in orders. For example, write your name here. So this is command. The third is requesting information, especially in WH questions. Means the questions beginning with who, what, why, where, when, which, and how. For example, where do you work? Falling tone has been used. And the fourth is it is used in exclamation. How nice of you! How nice of you! So, in these four conditions, means in statement, in command, in WH questions, and in exclamation, falling tone has been used. As I told you, intonation simply means it is a melody of speech. When British people speak English language, there is certain rhythm in their speaking, and this is nothing but intonation, melodious speech. छान बोलणं त्याला इंटोनेशन असं आपण म्हणूया मराठीमध्ये. द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज रायझिंग टोन. आता चढत जाणारा टोन कसा असतो नेमका ते आपण पाहूया. ओके, दिस रायझिंग टोन हॅज बीन यूज इन yes no टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन्स. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, हॅव यू फिनिश्ड ऑलरेडी? Second is rising tone has been used in question tag that shows uncertainty or requires an answer, confirmation of the answer. For example, you like fish, don't you? Rising tone has been used. So in these two conditions, is yes no type of question, that means in verbal question, in question tag, rising tone has been used. So this is intonation. The third, falling rising tone. So in which condition falling rising tone has been used? Let us study three different situations in which we can use it. The first is hesitation or reluctance. For example, so you would be willing to confirm that? Well, I suppose so. There is hesitation, there is reluctance, and that condition we use falling rising tone. The second example is denoted here so that you can understand it well. You didn't see him on Monday. I don't quite remember. So again, here is hesitation or reluctance, some sort of. So falling rising tone has been used. The next is politeness, to show doubt, uncertainty. Perhaps we could visit the place. Should we copy the list? So in politeness, in doubt, in some certainty, falling rising tone has been used. And the third is it is an irony. So what is irony? Irony, this is satire, so sort of. Rain and Martin's book, English grammar book, defines irony as irony is a mode of speech in which the real meaning is exactly the opposite. Okay, which is suggested or given in the literary text. So I know that you are clever. So I use falling rising tone on clever to show irony. आपण म्हणतो खूप दीडशाणा आहेस मराठीमध्ये, असं इंडिकेट करण्यासाठी फॉलिंग रायझिंग टोन जो आहे त्याचा उपयोग केला जातो बेटा. यू आर ब्युटिफुल, दॅट मीन्स यू आर अगली. फॉलिंग रायझिंग टोन हॅज बीन यूज्ड to indicate irony, to show ridicule and satire. So in three different conditions, falling rising tone has been used as I denoted here. So let us turn towards the next slide, weak forms and strong form of articles. The first example is a the, the article. So there are two different pronunciations of this word the. We use it as a the before the vowel sound. Okay, this is a strong pronunciation of the sound, and this is it is pronounced as the. For example, the army, as army begins with a vowel sound so we have to pronounce this the as the. This is strong form. Now it is again used as a weak form before consonant. For example, the table. ही एक गोष्ट महत्वाची लक्षात घ्या. जेव्हा आपण द चा उच्चार करत असतो, स्वराच्या अगोदर जर द लावलेला असेल तर नेहमी त्याचा उच्चार दी असा करावा, दी आमी. आणि व्यंजनाच्या अगोदर जर द येत असेल तर द असा त्याचा उच्चार करावा, द टेबल. दोन एक्झाम्पल मी या ठिकाणी तुम्हाला डिनोट केले बेटा. काही सिलेक्ट एक्झाम्पल्स जे आहेत वीक फॉर्म आणि स्ट्रॉंग फॉर्मचे या ठिकाणी स्टडी करूया आपण. आता पहा ऑर्थोग्राफी पहा, स्पेलिंग पहा कसं आहे. PHE त्याचा स्ट्रॉंग फॉर्म मी तुम्हाला डिनोट केला, तो आहे दी. याचा वीक फॉर्म होतो द. द नेक्स्ट वर्ड द स्ट्रॉंग फॉर्म इज आई and the weak form is a. Next is an. Weak form is an or n. So these are certain strong forms and weak form in English. We should try to remember this. Here are also some strong form and weak forms of the auxiliaries. So the question arises in the mind, what is auxiliary? Auxiliary simply means the helping verb that we use. See the first word can. Can is a strong form. The weak form of this can is a can is the weak form. Second is could. The strong form is could. Weak form is a only. So the next word is have. Have is a strong form. Is a weak form of have. Has is a strong form. Is the weak form of has. Okay. When do we use this weak form? While in the connected speech, for example, when I say I am a boy, okay, I am a boy, like this. So in connected speak, weak form has been used. And when I initiate the sentence with question, can I sit here? So can strong form has been used here. See, the next word is had. Had is a strong form. Had is the use of weak form here. The next word is will. Will is a strong form and only is the weak form of will. For example, I'll do it is the use of weak form in coherent speech. So try to understand this. The next word is shall. As a strong form, I use it shall. In the weak form, I use it shall or only. Okay. So this is weak form. So let us turn towards the next word, should. So should is the strong form and should or is the weak form of this. So weak and strong form of auxiliaries is the next slide. Must is the strong form. Must is a weak form. Do is a strong form. Is a weak form. Does is a strong form. Does or z is a weak form. Is a strong form. Is a weak form. Was is a strong. Was z is a weak form. Where is a strong form. Were is a weak form. Been is a strong and been is a weak form. So there is a slight difference. After intensive and careful study of the language, we understand this. So I discuss in brief about weak and strong form of auxiliaries, about the words in English. So let us turn towards the next slide and the next point. Stress changes according to function. म्हणजे आघात बदलतो बेटा. जसं वाक्याचं फंक्शन म्हणजे कार्य आणि उपयोग बदलतो ना, त्या पद्धतीने त्याचा स्ट्रेस म्हणजे त्याच्यावर दिला जाणारा आघात सुद्धा बदलतो. याचा पहिला एक्झाम्पल आपण या ठिकाणी पाहूया. ऑब्जेक्ट हा शब्द. ऑब्जेक्ट जो आहे तो जेव्हा आपण नाउन म्हणून वापरतो ना, त्याचा प्रोनाउन्सिएशन आपण ऑब्जेक्ट असं करतो. ऑब्जेक्ट. आणि त्याचा स्ट्रेस पहा तुम्ही या ठिकाणी. ऑवर स्ट्रेस दिलेला आहे. ओके. ऑब्जेक्ट. पण जेव्हा मी हाच शब्द स्पेलिंग हेच वर्ब म्हणून वापरतो ना, तर त्यावेळेला माझा स्ट्रेस बदलतो आणि प्रोनाउन्सिएशन बदलतं. याचा वर्ब म्हणून प्रोनाउन्सिएशन करत असताना ऑब्जेक्ट असं प्रोनाउन्सिएशन करावं लागतं. I repeat in English. When I use this word object as a noun, I say object. Object. I pronounce this. When I use it as a verb, I have to say object. The same is with the word progress. When I use this word as a noun, I have to say like this, progress. Progress. And when I use this word as a verb, I pronounce this as progress. Progress. So the stress changes according to the use of the word. Next is subject. So when I use it as a noun, I have to say like this: subject, subject. And when I use it as a verb, I always say subject, subject. The same is the case with the word increase. Increase is noun. Increase is verb. Impart. Impart is a noun. Impart is verb. Perfect. Perfect, the sixth word. Perfect is noun. Perfect is verb. Spelling is the same, but pronunciation changes and the stress changes according to the function use of the word. Okay. Generally, now the tendency is like this. When I use the word as a noun, the stress occurs at the first syllable. Okay, and here is a second syllable. If you observe it very carefully. So the next is perfect. Perfect, perfect. Record, record, record. So the stress changes according to the function in the language. Next point is difference between British English and American English. So see the pronunciation here. The first is there are four major differences that we teach to the students. The difference between British English and American English. The first difference is the difference of pronunciation. The second difference is the difference of vocabulary. The third is the spelling difference is there. And the fourth is grammar. Grammar. So we have to study this. We have to understand this. So here, regarding the pronunciation, when a British person speak, he use the word noun, pronounce the word now as noun. But an American man speaks it as a now, not now. So they pronounce a sound as a in American English. So note this difference. Okay. Now. Pakistan is British pronunciation. Pakistan is American pronunciation. Schedule is a British pronunciation. Schedule is American pronunciation. So there are certain pronunciation differences are there in British English as well in American English. The second difference is the difference of vocabulary. The British people say antenna. At the same time, the people who live in America, they say aerial to antenna. So the same object has been addressed by different name in different countries. Spelling difference is there. COLOUR is the spelling used in England. COLOR abbreviated spelling has been used for writing in America. So certain spelling differences are also there. We have to note this down. The third difference is the difference of grammar. Grammar is also different. In British English, it is said the audience is present. And in American English, it is said the audience are present. So this is a notional. Remember, this is according to the notion. It changes. So we have to remember this. I hope that the difference between American English and British English is now very clear to you. So what we learn after all this? इतकं सगळं अभ्यास केल्यानंतर आपल्याला नेमकं काय शिकता येईल? The first thing, listening foreign English in a correct way. आपल्याला फॉरेनची इंग्लिश जी आहे अत्यंत व्यवस्थितपणे आपल्याला समजेल आणि आपण व्यवस्थितपणे त्याला ऐकू शकू, हे पहिलं स्किल. Here in this new education policy, now the skills have been given utmost importance by education department. Remember, जी नवीन एज्युकेशन पॉलिसी 2020 ची येते याच्यामध्ये स्किल बेस एज्युकेशन आहे. आणि जेव्हा जेव्हा आपण फॉरेनचं हे इंग्लिश ऐकू, त्याला व्यवस्थितपणे शिकू फोनॉलॉजी मॉर्फॉलॉजीच्या मदतीने, तर आपल्याला फॉरेनचं इंग्लिश व्यवस्थितपणे ऐकता येईल, ऐकलेलं कळेल, समजेल आपल्याला. सेकंड थिंग, वी आर एबल टू स्पीक ब्रिटिश इंग्लिश. आपल्याला ब्रिटिश इंग्लिश व्यवस्थितपणे बोलता पण येईल. द थर्ड इज रीडिंग ॲक्युरेट इंग्लिश. We can read the English in a correct and accurate way with the help of stress, accent, intonation we can use while speaking the language, while reading the English, and this is very important skill. As the four skills are very important when we teach to the B.Ed and D.Ed students. LSRW, that means listening, reading, speaking, and writing. The fourth is use of intonation. इंटोनेशन म्हणजे आवाजातला चढ उतार, आवाजातलं माधुर्य. जेव्हा आपण स्पीच करतो ना, बोलतो ना, तो त्यावेळेला कुठे आवाज खालच्या पट्टीत घ्यायचा, कुठे वरच्या पट्टीत बोलायचं, हे स्किल जे आहे आपल्याला याच्या अभ्यासाने व्यवस्थितपणे समजायला लागतं. वी कॅन अंडरस्टँड इंग्लिश लिटरेचर वेल. आपल्याला इंग्रजी साहित्य जे आहे ते व्यवस्थितपणे आता कळायला लागेल जर आपण भाषेचा व्यवस्थित अभ्यास करायला लागलो तर. The sixth point is we can understand English movies. Sometimes, at the very first instance, we visualize, we see foreign movies, English movies especially, and we didn't understand anything, especially the language that they use in movies. Okay, we fell in that. If we understand English phonology and morphology well, we are able to understand English movies also. So this is important skill. We can develop fluency in English. No one claim mastery over English. Okay, but this is the humble journey in the direction of perfection. So this thing is very much important. Fluency in English. The eighth point is mastery on English. We can achieve proficiency in speaking English well. So this is very important skill. So these are the select skills that we can imbibe in our attitude, in our temperament while speaking the language well, after careful study of English phonology and morphology. So here is the sample of transcripted extract of English phonology. जर आपण फोनॉलॉजीचा व्यवस्थितपणे अभ्यास केला तर हे ट्रान्सक्रिप्टेड म्हणजे साऊंडच्या फॉर्म मध्ये जे इंग्लिश आहे हे पण आपल्याला व्यवस्थितपणे वाचता येऊ शकते, वाचता यायला पाहिजे. मी तुम्हाला एक सॅम्पल म्हणून या ठिकाणी हे वाचून दाखवतो बेटा. एक दोन सॅम्पल मी या ठिकाणी घेतलेले आहेत. सो यू आर अ gardener, aren't you? You know anything about busy lilies? Don't you know anything about busy lilies? About what? Busy lilies. Want know anything? Oh, I thought you would know. They're house plants. I have just been given one by my sister, and I want to know how to look after it. I'm afraid I don't know much about house plants, but I've got a book somewhere that might help. Let's see. Ah, yes, here it is. The care of house plants. That looks useful. Do you happen to know the Latin name of it? I'm afraid I don't. Busy lilies, the only name I have heard, and passages. So if we develop the habit to understand English phonology well, we can read transcripted passages and paragraphs also. Here is one more example. This is the sample second that I want to show you here in an online mode. Let us read. I need a couple of shirts. Great, Carolyn, please. Certainly, sir. I'll just get some out. Would you mind taking a seat for a minute? I shan't be long. No, don't be too long. I haven't very much time. Very good, sir. Here's a nice shirt. We sell a lot of this one. Do you know? Yes, It is the sort of style I want. But I asked for gray. This is purple. Purple, sir? Surely not. It is what we call silver blue. Well, it looks purple to me. Anyway, I'd like something a little less bright, more like the one I'm wearing. Oh, that sort of gray. I haven't seen that for years. And here this paragraph, this passage ends. So if we try to read this in phonemic script, we can understand British English, foreign English in a better way. So this is the humble effort. And in NET and SET competitive examinations, such a language proficiency is expected from the students. So I humbly request you to go through it, study it. Here are the select book I want to focus. So the first book is written by R.K. Bansal and J.B. Harrison. The title of this book is a Spoken English. This is in fact the thesis written by R.K. Bansal and J.B. Harrison. In the very beginning of this book, Bansal and Harrison says that there is no perfect correspondence between the spoken form of English. It is spoken form of English and the written form of English. It is altogether different. So we have tried to understand this first thing, that the spoken English is a special variety of English, and the graphic English means the written English is altogether a different kind of English. What we Indian people do, we amalgamate it, we try to mix it, we try to read certain words and sentences according to the spelling, and we fail in that. So this is the awakening, this is the arising. We cannot mix and mingle it. Spoken English by J.K. Bansal and J.B. Harrison says this. The second important book is written by T. Balasubramanian, entitled English Phonetics for Indian Students. As English is foreign language for us, so this book written by T. Balasubramanian informs us English phonology in detail. We understand certain principles of language in this book. So I humbly request you to please see this book for further reading and reference. The third book, which is very much important, is a Better English Pronunciation written by J.D. O'Connor. So with the help of this book, Better English Pronunciation, we can understand intonation, stress, listening, and speaking the English in a better way. And the fourth book that I have mentioned here is written by M.K. Mishra, Spoken English. If possible, try to read all these books so that you can understand phonetics in a better way. So here are some select organizations that impart quality education of English to the students. On international platform, there is a University of Oxford, University of Cambridge, and Harvard University, which these are the three important universities which are imparting quality education to the students all over the world. So many students from the foreign countries, they visit these universities to learn quality education of English. Concerning Indian institutions here in India, three important universities are there. So many universities are there, but I have mentioned three select universities. The first important university is the University of Delhi, which is the capital of India. The second university, the first university in India, is called Kolkata University. This is also one more important institution that focuses on quality education of English. And the third important university, which is the Central University of Government of India, located in Sitapal Mandi at Hyderabad, is Institute of English and Foreign Languages University. 2 years ago, I completed my PGCT, that means post graduation certificate in the teaching of English from this university, Central University of Government of India, Institute of English and Foreign Languages, University of Hyderabad. Apart from English, the foreign languages like French, Arabic, Spanish, Japanese languages are also taught in these universities. So I request you to at least surf the websites of these universities so that we can understand the syllabus of these universities, so that we can get some important points and clues for the reading and study for the competitive examinations like NET and SET. So thank you very much here. So let us stop this presentation today. I hope that you can understand English phonology, then morphology, syntax, lexical, and semantics in a better way. So this is our second lecture. In our next lecture, we will discuss about comprehension, communication theories, important approaches and methods to how we can study the language in a better way. So thank you very much for your patient listening and availing me the opportunity on behalf of BARTI to interact with the students. So let us stop here. Thank you very much once again. Jai Hind.